Morning.
Morning.
My name is Katie Greco, and this is Tet George. We're speaking today on behalf of the local outreach committee. We're excited to share about a new Chelton ministry partnership with Safe Families for Children, which perfectly fits in with our renewed focus on being salt and light. It would be hard to overstate the scriptural call for Christians to be on the front lines of caring for the poor, the outsider, and the fatherless. We know that Jesus spent his time not with the wealthy and the privileged, but with those who were forgotten and overlooked in society. We know that we're called to be like Jesus, to view our resources, our time, our very lives as instruments for kingdom work. Many of us do give sacrificially to mercy ministries or sponsor children abroad. But poverty can feel like a very abstract problem, and our donations often feel like a drop in the bucket.
The reality is that poverty is not a distant problem. Did you know that 62% of single-parent, female-headed households in Montgomery County do not have the minimum income needed to afford basic expenses? Did you know that there are about 400 children in foster care in our county, and that each year over 100 children enter the system for the very first time? And these statistics are not unrelated. If you look at the reasons why children are placed into foster care, more than half of cases are due to moms being overwhelmed by their situations or not having adequate housing. In fact, only about 25% of children in foster care are placed because of parent neglect.
The needs right around us can be hard for us to see. Think about your neighborhood or your workplace. If you're like us, your neighbors probably have stable incomes, permanent housing, and maybe even take annual vacations. We know there are others who are struggling to make ends meet, but we rarely rub shoulders with them.
So the question is, what can we do as believers? And we want to share with you about one program which bridges this chasm between these vulnerable, often invisible families right in our community and those of us who have the means, the stability, and the desire to help. You've probably seen both of our families with extra kids in tow periodically at church, and that's because we're both host families through Safe Families for Children. My family has been hosting since late 2016, and we've cared for 25 babies so far, some for just a few days, some for a few weeks, some for a few months. And serving in this way has pushed us into deep dependence on the Lord. It has been the best decision we've made, despite the risks and despite the unknowns it brings to our family life.
And our family began hosting in 2018, and we've cared for around 28 kids, serving 19 separate families in crisis. Similar to the Georges, some of these hostings have been for a day or two, or several weeks, and some have spanned off and on for over a year. It has taught us how to hold our plans lightly, to be flexible in pretty much all things, and that we can, in fact, do difficult things with the encouragement of the Holy Spirit, even if it is trying at times.
And Safe Families is not just a childcare ministry, and it's not foster care. What it is a holistically pro-life ministry, which allows us to use our time, our resources, and our homes to minister to families in crisis. This is a ministry which can reduce the number that I talked about at the beginning, 100 new kids entering the foster care system every single year in our county, and that's not even counting the surrounding counties. And hosting children is not the only way to serve. Volunteers can be single adults, retirees, and literally everything in between. People are needed to drive kids to and from placements, to meet with moms and provide mentorship, to provide tangible items, clothing, diapers.
Every situation is unique, but we almost always serve single moms who are struggling and isolated. We have hosted kids whose moms were in homeless shelters, having emergency surgeries, seeking inpatient treatment for a substance abuse or mental health struggle, or just trying to find work. Significantly, almost none of the moms we have served had any connection to a local church or community of believers. Safe Families allows us to see and meet needs nearby.
So we would love to see our church's involvement with this ministry grow. Jesus sought out the hurting and the marginalized. We want to do that too. The need is real. Just last year, our local Safe Families office, which is in Jenkintown, had to turn away 45 families, just because there were not enough volunteers. Safe Families provides us with the structure and the support to be salt and light to the least of these in our community. We're so excited to see how God will work through Chelton in this ministry as we step up to serve out in the lobby, and it's going to be on this side, so go out that way so you can stop and see the materials. There are materials about Safe Families for you to pick up and look at. There's a QR code. You can get more information. We would love to chat with you more about this, and we're also going to be sharing more about it up front. But before then, just for today, we want you to ask the Lord how he might be calling you to serve in this ministry. Thank you.